Welcome to episode 9 of GOREFEST at Tiffany's here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. My name is Matthew, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host Rachel.
I'm so glad to be back. It's so great to see you. It's great to see all of you on the internet.
Yeah. This show is your one-stop shop for all things Scream Queen extraordinaire, Tiffany Shepis, and we are on
Yeah.
a Christopher Nolan-esque odyssey, going through her entire filmography, the ones that we can find.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
how do you feel it's going so far, Rachel?
I mean, it feels very comprehensive. We know we made a list and we're like, we want to do all of these. And I think we had grandiose plans, but with kind of moderated hopes for how deep a dive we could do. And I'm feeling like we are getting the job done.
Oh
We are
yeah.
diving deep.
I don't think
Yeah.
anybody on the internet is as thorough as we have been thus far in her
No.
filmography, and there's only about 5,000 more movies to go. So
Yeah.
by the end of this, we'll be old in old folks' home, like just trying to like Tiffany put out another movie, Rachel. We gotta
Yeah.
cover it, a new episode.
There's gonna be like a hologram of each of us doing
Oh,
it by the
oh
time
my
we get
gosh. Yeah.
there.
So yeah, we are trying to find everything. I will give a little tease to people out there. We may have the unaired pilot episode of Sci-Fi's Face Off in which she was a host. We might
Stop
we might
it.
have that. We might be able to watch that and cover
Stop
it on an upcoming
it.
episode. Maybe, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Getting ahead of myself. Tonight we're doing something a little different. We have normally been basically, I guess, covering feature films of hers throughout her
Mhm.
filmography. But this time I was like, you know what? She's got like 10,000 short films. Let's just shotgun all of them. I mean, they're short films. How long could it possibly be? How long could it possibly be? Now,
Did you actually count up how long the totality of these movies, like, if you take them all together?
I did not, but some of them were like 30 minutes plus.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it had to
yeah.
have been like 3 or 4 hours, I
At
think,
least. Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So, and the caveat being, I'm sure this is not all of them. I'm sure there's
No.
more that are not on IMDb because we're kind of like going off IMDb, and we're going to talk about a quasi short film called Heavy Black Smokestack, which we only got 10 minutes of it, but it's actually a feature. But I'll get to
Is
that.
that right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
actually a feature.
Okay,
So we got to
interesting.
find it, but we'll get there. And so yeah, like that's not even on IMDb, and that was one of our first feature films. And so I don't know how many like short films get added to IMDb. We'll have to try to
Yeah.
figure it out. So if any viewer out there knows of short films that we have not covered yet and don't cover on this show, and you can direct us to them, let us know, please, because we would love to see
Yeah.
some additional short films. Because I know even if we completed everything on that IMDb, it's not going to be everything. There's still
No.
stuff out there, so
Yeah.
we have to find it. So before we get into the news, because we always start with sort of news, I did want to address how often this show comes out. Now, the reason why is because a few months ago at this point, we had a viewer send an email in, Rachel. And I don't even know if I mentioned this to you, but
No.
the viewer was like, "Hey, excellent show, fantastic. Why don't these come out like on a regular basis?" I think we've been doing this show for a couple years at this point. We're only on
Yeah.
episode 9 right now, and there's
Yeah.
there's a couple reasons for that. So for those of you who are watching the show and liking it and subscribing, do all that fun stuff. Hit that notification bell because you'll know when episode 10 comes out. Um, Rachel, how busy are you in your life?
Oh, just a little, just a little. I definitely don't wake up at 6 AM and then go until I literally collapse on my face at 11 PM every night.
Yeah, yeah. And without
How about you?
yeah,
Nice light schedule over
yeah,
there?
without getting into details, I have a lot of stuff going on, especially
Mhm.
in my day-to-day sort of stuff. And so honestly, it's just hard to find the time to watch a
Mhm.
big bunch of movies, find time to record. So that's number one. It's just hard. We kind of like will fit this in when we have the time and we're able to do it. I mean, this episode was delayed multiple times where we were planning to film or record, but like can't do it for various reasons. And the other reason that I kind of want to address it is those who have watched the episodes, it's not just you and I sitting here talking. Like
Right.
I'm taking clips, I'm splicing in clips. We're doing research wherever we can. We're creating notes on everything, and so just the sort of like the editing process of putting these together. And they're usually an hour to
Yeah.
an hour and a half. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
feature film. That's literally
Yeah, yeah,
longer
yeah.
than most of some of
Yeah.
these movie feature films we've watched of hers. And so I like to put in, I like to make the episodes quality. I don't
Yeah.
want to just shit something out. So
Yeah.
episode 10, I'd like to get a couple more episodes this year if we can. At least one more,
Yeah.
hopefully, maybe around Halloween time. I have an idea for a Christmas themed episode. I don't think she's done a ton of Christmas things. I mean, we're going to talk about a short film, a Christmas short
Yeah.
film, but I have an idea. I'll tell you about it off camera because I think
Okay.
it's, let's just say it's a Christmas gift. I'll put it at that.
Ooh,
Might drop it on Christmas
okay.
Day, but
I love
we'll see.
it.
So yeah, again, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell because I don't know when the next episode will actually post. Neither of
Mhm.
us do, so it could be a month, it could be 4 months,
Yeah.
but we'll get to it. So thank
But, like, the soonest will probably be October, realistically, so
yeah.
for folks who want yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because
So we'll definitely have something in October, I'm sure. Because we
mhm,
had actually
yeah,
planned a Halloween episode last year, and I had
mhm,
a whole list of Halloween stuff that she's been in, Halloween themed movies and whatnot, but we just didn't have time to get to it.
yep,
So
yep.
we'll try to revisit that again.
I think that sounds great.
Okay, well, let's get into the news. So,
Yeah.
so this is fun. My friend Tony Haynes,
Mhm,
actor and
mhm,
producer on numerous films of mine.
mhm.
You can go to our channel, Outpost Unknown. You can see him in the Devil's Corkscrew. He's one of the gunslingers at the very beginning. He's the older gunslinger, not Dalen, the young hotshot gunslinger. But
Wow,
he's in.
Tony catching strays, okay.
No, Tony's
Not
great.
the hot one, the other one.
No, 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 no. I mean, like, if someone's like, well, there's two gunslingers here. Who are they? Anyway, he is a huge fan of Scream Queens. If you've ever been to his home, if you walk down into his basement, he's just got a wall filled with autographs of various Scream Queens because he goes to horror conventions and stuff all the time. So I mentioned this show to him, and he was a big comic book fan. And I mentioned to Tony, I was like, Tony, do you know anybody in Nebraska who'd be able to get a hold of some comic books? Because a few episodes back, I mentioned a comic book in which Tiffany Shepis was in, along with Brink Stevens and Linnea Quigley and Michelle Bauer. And Tony came through for us, Rachel. Not only did he buy a comic, but he gave us multiple versions of the comic, all of the basically
What?
the extra things. So this is hopefully you can see this here.
Yes. Oh, that's
So there she is
amazing.
right there.
Yes.
So this is starring Sonia Devereaux. It's put out by American Mythology Productions. It's Scream Queen Summer Camp Massacre. It's 48 pages. And we have the B cover here, which has a bunch more. Sorry about the glare. I'm trying to not get it
You're good.
glare. So you can kind of see more stuff
Wow, look
there.
at that. Oh, look
Yeah.
at our girl.
Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of read the description of this Scream Queen Summer Camp Massacre. When real life Scream Queens Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, and Tiffany Shepis co star with Hollywood's 306th Best Actress Sonia Devereaux in this one of a kind movie within a comic book, horror films have never been so bloody hilarious. Cast as iconic Scream Queens, the actresses attend a horror convention held at the notorious summer camp that inspired the slasher genre. What could possibly go wrong? Glad you asked. Their camp uniforms are too small, there's only one stall, so showering becomes a group activity, and the original serial killer, Ragface, is back to continue his streak of creative, gory murders and to stalk the sexy starlets. Legendary movie producer director Fred Olen Ray also appears as a legendary movie producer director in this uproarious, special 48-page spectacular slasher film satire packed with fun, fiends, and foxy femmes. So
Amazing.
so there you go. We have the comic books, and I will actually, before the next episode, I'll sort of read through the story and everything, and we'll do a review of this comic book. But I do also kind of want to mention, I did notice that Miss Shepis is going to be at the Colorado Festival of Horror in Denver, September 18th, 20th. And everyone knows Nebraska is a border state with Colorado. So I may show up to this convention, and maybe we can
What?
get this autographed, and maybe we can give this away. As like a prize for viewers or something like that. So if anybody's
Cool.
interested in getting one of these, and I have a whole bunch of different comics, different covers and whatnot, leave a comment down below and just say what is your favorite Tiffany Shepis movie. I will pick a random comment at some unknown point of time in the future, and then I'll send you a copy, one of these copies of this. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
super cool. Thank you, Tony. He did not have to go above and beyond, but Tony always goes
No.
above and beyond. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you knew what you were gonna say about him on the show.
Yeah. We'll edit all that out. We'll edit all that out. Next piece of news, Dave from the Everybody Dies YouTube channel. We talked to him, I think, on the last episode, right? And he was showing
Mhm.
the different cuts of the films that he's got. He created a Tiffany Shepis subreddit. So if anybody is interested
Yeah.
to talk about Tiffany Shepis online, you can go to his subreddit. I'll post a link for it in the description. And just a shout out to him because obviously there won't be another episode that comes out before September, but he is doing September on his channel where he's doing a bunch of episodes going through her entire filmography and things of that nature. So be sure to go like and subscribe at the Everybody Dies YouTube channel and check out Dave's month-long September, which should be super, super cool.
Very cool.
Tiffany Shepis to star in found footage horror, The Case Study of Walter Briggs. Now, I'm going to pull this up here. This is
Cool.
originally from Fangoria. I think I grabbed it from Bloody Disgusting, so I think they grabbed the news article from there. Just quick read, because I thought this was interesting, because Tiffany Shepis has like 10,000 IMDb credits. Apparently, she's never done a found footage movie, and this will be her first. So
That's
I know, right?
wild.
It's crazy. Like, what is your take on the found footage genre? I love it.
I I am a sucker for found footage
Yeah.
film. I love them. I know that people the cool thing is to not like them. I disagree. I love the way that it adds, if it's done well, adds a level of verisimilitude where it can actually be creepy. I love a found footage. Frog like, one of my favorite movies right now that I can't stop talking about is Frogman. So,
Oh,
if that tells you anything about where I land on found
okay.
footage.
Yeah, I've been a huge fan of found footage for quite a while, so I'm actually very excited to see this.
Me
I'll
too.
just read a couple things here from the Fangoria article, and again, I'll link it in the description. But the case study of Walter Briggs follows a nursing student assigned to document an elderly dementia patient whose rare moments of clarity begin to suggest unsettling recollections tied to an infamous serial killer. As her investigation intensifies, so does her obsession, drawing her closer to a truth that may put her in danger. And it says, quote, "This is my first foray into found footage filmmaking, and it's a completely different beast," says Shepis. "I used to think the style might be easier, but the reality is quite the opposite. Limited camera angles often mean limited coverage. That puts a premium on performance. You have to get it right from the very
Ooh.
first take because it might be the only one you have. Now, if I could just figure out how to sneak in my signature glamour lighting," unquote. So yeah, this seems pretty cool. I think she's teaming up with, gosh, who are the directors on this? Mitchell Altieri is one, and Jeffrey Allard, I think, is the producer. And she worked with them on The Violent Kind, The Night Watchman, and Starlight, which are all feature films I don't think we've gotten to yet. They're
Mm-mm.
coming. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So look out for the case study of Walter Briggs. Sounds sweet. And then
Yeah.
last but not least, we covered Samurai Priest Vampire
Yeah, we
Hunter on a
did.
previous thing. And I received an email from Mark Terry, who it was the dude is very, very cool. He sent this
Yeah.
long email explaining all of these questions that we had because
Oh,
we're like who would not cast Tiffany Shepis through like
right,
the entire movie? Like, what is
right.
going on here? And he was kind enough to send, and I'll also link this video in the description. I can't post the whole 26 minutes of it because then the episode will be like a million years old. I'll take a few or a million years long. Old? Why am I stuck on old today? Like,
I don't know.
sorry,
Is
Tony.
it secretly your birthday? What's going on?
I don't know. No. So anyway, he did this really extensive explanation of Tiffany's involvement in Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you're watching this, you know who I am. That's right. Had some interesting things come up. By the way, I'm the creator and director and did a little bit of everything on Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. Now, take away my spooky music. So it was brought to my attention recently, and I know that this question has been asked before. How did Tiffany Shepis, the Scream Queen, the horror movie actress, how did she get involved in your film, Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter? Tiffany Shepis, a well-known actress. She's been in here she is in Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. Very well liked, and she's got a small scene in our movie. So I wanted to explain and show scene comparisons of Tiffany Shepis in our films, Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. This, by the way, the film's available on, you can watch it, Tubi, Plex, Fossum, Amazon Prime. You can get the Blu-ray on Vinegar Syndrome, yada, yada, yada. You guys know what it is. It's out there. But here's the thing. We had a very nice group recently do a review on the film. And they were reviewing the film mostly because, well, pretty much the only reason is because Tiffany Shepis was in it. Tiffany Shepis is in our film.
Cool.
Live Evil versus Samurai Priest, how they re-edited everything, and he talked to
Yeah.
the editor for it, and he posted it on YouTube, and it's fantastic. So I want a huge shout out to Mark Terry. I'll post a couple clips here.
Tiffany Shepis. So people are, so why don't you just have Tiffany Shepis in the whole film? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? There's been these questions. Tiffany Shepis never auditioned for the movie. A very nice lady and a very, very late addition. Here's the story of it. And by the way, what I'm going to do for the people who are interested is at the end of this, I'm going to play Live Evil, the Tiffany Shepis scene from Live Evil, and then I'm going to play the Tiffany Shepis scene from Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter, so you can see the difference in what we did and how we updated it, and the difference in the performance and the different takes and all that kind of stuff. But there was a film that was out there. So like I said, we started in 2006. There's different people out there that say they directed it and this and that. I mean, we started with a guy named Vito Trabucco, who did Bloody Bloody Bible Camp. Jay Warfel did some stuff in the middle. I did all the stuff at the end. Don't forget, in the middle of the movie, throughout the movie, I did all the action. So it's like I tried to credit it as fairly as possible. By the way, the two gentlemen that I mentioned at the beginning, they had nothing to do with Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter or the additional 20 days that we shot or the restoration or the rewriting of the script or any of that kind of stuff. They just were part of it. Some of those people I haven't talked to in years, but everybody has kind of a different insight. But the story is it was brought to my attention, and I think it was by Jay, because he wanted Tiffany Shepis in a film of his. I think it's called Asylum of Darkness. So this is how it was brought to my attention. We are filming literally our last day. It's like September 2008. We're done. This is the Live Evil era. We're done. There's almost nothing else to film. And I'm kind of brought up to me that, hey, we can have Tiffany Shepis in the scene. And I'm like, oh, it's cool, but I don't know. I mean, don't forget, as a producer and, as a director and as a guy who's got his hand in all this kind of stuff too, every time you run film through that camera, it costs you money. You got to develop it. You got to buy the film stock. We shot this on Super 16 millimeter. It's like the movie's done. Well, something could be written. There were some ideas pitched, and she could be in this party scene. So it was brought to my attention that it could be possible, and it could happen. By the way, at the beginning of the film, I probably, even if it was pitched to me and I'm the sole decision maker, that Tiffany Shepis, and I heard, the Outpost Unknown folks say, oh, she could have played the Osa Wallander Sydney character, or, Ava Derrick's character, or Roxy's character, which is the African-American actress that's with Tim Thomerson throughout the movie. I would have never considered her for that role because I know that, man, we had Tim Thomerson with his schedule and, his schedule to put Tiffany Shepis, who works a lot and we're shooting on weekends over months, would be tough. And then you got 4 vampires, and I said we had the 2 vampire slayers. You have them together. That was tough with actors that might not be as known. And obviously she is known and she works a lot, so she could be gone. It just would have been too tough scheduling. It was hard as hell as it is. So I probably wouldn't have considered it up front. And the other aspect of it is not making it too much of a quote unquote fanboy thing. You know, even the cameo, I kind of wanted to shy away from fanboy things. I like her. I think she's a good actress. I think she's great. You know, she does a great job in this in the 90 seconds she's in it. But there's a bigger reason why I didn't want her in this. And I remember telling Jay, I was like, yeah, I don't know. And hear me out on this, because it's not a bad thing. It has nothing to do with her personally. I'm going to show you in 2026 the reason I didn't want her in this, because I knew that this would happen. Well, I mean, look at the review that from Outpost Unknown. They're like, she's only in it in 90s for 90 seconds. What about this? What about that? And she's kind of an overshadowing presence. It kind of goes down to this. If you check out the Amazon here, and let me bring this up real quick, you can see the problem. And this is what I'm talking. I don't know if you go, well, let's make it a little bit bigger. You see there on the top, that is the Blu-ray, okay? And the Blu-ray, you can see the meta tags, Tim Thomerson, and by the way, I did all the Blu-ray, the one that says 2099. Tim Thomerson, Osa Wallander, Mark Hanks, Ken Foray. Okay. By the way, Ken Foray shot for 12 hours one day with us, but he had a lot, and he was like the and credit. That was all negotiated. And he shot about 60% of the way into the movie, but like this is having Tiffany Shepis is like a feather in our cap. It's cool. It's like a cherry on the top of the Sunday week, you know. But you look at it, okay, Tim Thomerson, Osa Wallander, Mark Hanks, Ken Foray, that, and then directed by Mark Terry. That's right. That's correct. Well, if you look at it down here, now this is the on-demand one. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to make this bigger. This one I didn't have anything to do with. Guess what they did? And this is exactly was my concern. See the cast in the bottom right-hand corner? Tim Thomerson, Ken Foray, and Tiffany Shepis. Now it's 20 years later. Somebody comes and watches the movie, and they're like, oh, I thought Tiffany Shepis was in this. Oh, she's only in this for a minute? He ripped me off. That was my concern with it, was the fact that she's so known, and it was a bonus, and it ended up working, that like there would be somebody out there, and it happened with the Live Evil International DVDs, and it happened with the Samurai Priest stuff. Now, obviously, if it's in my hands and I can control it, you know, I give her the with credit because she's certainly deserving, but it puts it in a tough situation. And I don't think it's fair marketing, and it's not something that I want to do, but I'm glad we had her. I think she did a good job. And there is some interesting stuff here that kind of comes into play. She comes on set, meet her. We were shooting at my old apartment in Playa del Rey. That's the one where Thomerson's walking up the stairs. It's actually when Thomerson walks up the stairs with the baby vampire scene and all that. It's all the same place. She just shot in the room to the left. And she came in. I just remember her being very cool. She was a lot shorter than I thought she was. She took off like her high heels, very short, very cool on set, very respectful, very nice. She's only there for like 6 hours. Like I said, the literally last day of the Live Evil, last thing that we ever shot. And it was kind of like an add-on scene. So, you know, it makes it tough, but, you know, and here's the thing. There was a film out there for people who want to see a full Tiffany Shepis film. And this man came to the set that day. I would highly suggest this movie right here, Nightmare Man, which she actually is the main character of. Rolf Konevsky did this. So we shot with her in mid-September 2007.
But then you can kind of see like the full scene she was originally in Live Evil versus what they sort of chopped it, you know,
Oh,
intercut and
interesting.
stuff on there. So super cool. He put a clip of us on there. So thank you
Uh,
for that, Mr. Terry. But so he mentions in there that he basically says that Tiffany was great, fantastic on set and everything like that, but he had reservations about casting her in it. And she was
Mhm.
kind of like a last she literally filmed on the final day of Live Evil for 6 hours
Oh,
because the
shit. Okay.
prior director or one of the prior directors was trying to get her in another one of his films and sort of brought her on board and whatnot. And he brought up a really good point that I hadn't considered because we are always looking at it from the angle of who are these people? Like, why are they
Yeah.
casting Tiffany Shepis in like these 30-second roles when
Right.
clearly she's got more charisma and magnetism than all these other people? Put her in there. And she wasn't obviously in this film from the very beginning. It was kind of like a last minute sort of
Okay.
thing. And his
Sure.
reservation was, look, she's great, but she's only going to be in it for like 30 seconds. What's going to
Yeah.
happen when this film is promoted?
Yeah, and
And he pulls up a clip of when you put in Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter into Amazon. The very top one is like his Blu-ray that he spent years doing, and then the next one underneath it is a DVD that he didn't have anything to do with. Literally says starring Tiffany Shepis
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it reminded me of we're probably for the October Halloween issue. We'll watch Night of the Demons, the
Mhm.
remake from 2010. I don't know if you ever watched that. Has Edward Furlong in it.
I've only seen the
Dora
original
Baird, I
'80s
think.
versions, so this will be a
Oh,
first watch.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I watched that movie specifically because they advertised Tiffany Shepis was in it back in
Right.
the day. It was super. She's in it for 15 seconds. She's
Right.
basically just taking the money, or the tickets or whatever before the main characters walk into the mansion, and literally that's
Okay.
it. And so I think it's a really good point, that I hadn't really considered of I guess there could be a downside to
Yeah.
just throwing Tiffany Shepis in your movie because Mark mentions, and I think correctly, like it can overshadow everybody
Yeah.
else that spent way more time and energy, like the main actress and things of that nature, because they're just throwing out the names. Tiffany Shepis is in it, and it's kind of like that bait and switch sort of thing. Like you're
Mhm.
watching it for Tiffany Shepis, and then you realize she's in it for 30 seconds, and you just naturally have that human disappointment factor, and you
Mhm.
kind of like blame the movie for that and the
Right.
filmmakers when it wasn't necessarily
Yeah.
their intent.
Well, I think typically it is a marketing decision. Like if you think
Yeah,
about like asylum films, they always have like that 2 seconds with this like the named actor in those mockbusters, and
yeah,
that's part of the formula. I watched this documentary, actually, I think you will think is really interesting when it comes out, called Mockbuster, about a first-time director who basically cold emailed the asylum and was like, "I wanna make a movie," and they were like, "Sure." But part of the thing he had to do was try to find, like, some Z-list celebrity to be in it for 2
yeah.
minutes.
I know somebody who has been a director on an asylum film and has told me all kinds of stories about
Did
how
he do a
those
6-day
movies.
special?
Well, it was a little lower than 6 days, let's just say that. But
Okay.
yeah, so I think that's something for us to keep in mind going forward when we're watching these. Which thank you, Mark, for pointing that out because I did
Yeah.
not know the backstory to any of that, so it was very cool. But yeah, he had nothing but nice things to say about Tiffany. He was happy that she's in the film and everything like that. But yeah,
Mhm.
check that out. I'll link it because it's like 26 minutes and it shows the original scene she was in versus how they changed it for Vampire Hunter, and he gives more context. So thank you very
Yeah.
much. And more
Yeah.
filmmakers, please. Like if we're talking about your movie and we say something that's wrong or inaccurate and we just don't know, please feel free to reach out to us, outpostunknown@gmail.com, and correct us because we
Yeah.
certainly want to know, how all this stuff got made. I'm a
Yeah.
filmmaker. I like to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we're trying to make something definitive here, right? So we wanna
Yeah,
make sure we're reporting accurately, so
for sure, for
yeah,
sure. We're
yeah.
reporters.
That's
Is
right,
that
we're
what
doing journalism, okay?
journalism,
I'll take my
hard-hitting journalism.
Peabody now.
Yes.
Thank you, right here.
So let's get into these short films, Rachel. The first one I have on my list here. We're going to go from the very oldest to the most recent. And
Okay,
again, I was kind of going through IMDb. Heavy Black Smokestack, which came out in 1997, directed by Jim Mazzulo. This
yeah,
is not on IMDb. I'll give a little bit of background on how I came across this. Tiffany's husband, Sean Tretta, is amazing. He's been hooking us up with all kinds of wild stuff that it's been very difficult for us to find, and we definitely have some cool stuff coming up. maybe
Mhm.
some stuff that either very few people have ever seen, or in some cases almost nobody's ever seen, things of that nature. And Heavy Black Smokestack was one of these things he sent, and I was like, wow, because I'd seen a copy of this on eBay, like a VHS signed, sold for like $300 or something outrageous, and I'm like, we're not monetized. I mean, I can't chuck out $300 for a VHS. Um,
Someday.
but but we have seen at least 10 minutes, because this is roughly 10 minutes of footage of this feature film. It was actually a
Mhm.
feature film from Teenage Wasteland Productions, and we were able to see an audition that Tiffany did for this back in the day. So I would
Yeah.
imagine about 96, 97-ish, which we kind of get an inside look into her very early acting days. Like, she's probably still around a teenager around this time, early
Yeah.
20s or something, auditioning for this. So, Heavy Black Smokestack, Rachel. What are we shown in this kind of little short?
Yeah, it's interesting that this is pieces of a feature film because I do feel like, there probably was more there, and I was just like, "Am I just dumb?" No, it's cut down.
Yeah,
So, I'm gonna be honest, I struggled to follow this one a little bit because there were some audio issues with it, so if I get any of this wrong, please correct me.
sure.
But it opens with this it opens with kind of a voiceover.
Hey, you out there, sitting in your lazy boy. Got anybody to love? It's a hard thing to come by. You never can tell. Maybe in work, maybe in a store, sometimes even on a street corner.
Followed by this young woman meeting a man in what appears to be like a subway station, where they kind of have an exchange about gum. And from there, we see her meet a couple on the street who invite her to a party. And she attends the party with the guy that she met earlier in the film. And it kind of evolves into an ongoing friendship that's built around partying, little sex, little drugs. And kind of the outcome of that lifestyle and the choices that they're making. We see some sort of like moments of rock bottoming and then maybe moments of resolution between Tiffany Cheppes's character and this sort of love interest character. Followed by, like you said, the audition tape, which I thought was really interesting. It makes sense now knowing it was a feature because it plays out a little bit differently in the audition than it does in the short
Yeah,
film, the scene that we see.
yeah. I'll show you some clips of the audition.
You brush your teeth today?
Excuse me?
Your teeth. Did you go them with a brush today?
No, why?
Is that why you're chewing on that piece of gum like that?
Everybody knows that the only people that chew gum are the ones who didn't brush that morning.
Did you brush your teeth today?
Excuse me?
Your teeth. Did you go over them with a brush today?
No, why?
Is that why you're chewing that piece of gum like that?
Everyone knows that all the people who chew gum are the ones who didn't brush their teeth that morning.
Yeah, this 10 minutes of actual footage from this movie, it makes me want to see the rest of this movie. Like, it seems like one of those, I mean, New York around that time, like party monster type, all of that stuff that was
Mhm.
going on. It felt like it sort of captured some of that. Now, I don't know if it was technically shot in New York, whatever, but it had that sort of New York vibe to it.
Yeah.
There was some lines. It felt a little art house. There were some
Oh,
funny lines
yes.
in here, like they're having this kind of like weird back and forth dialogue, and she gives the guy a piece of gum, and then she's like, "You got to promise me I can have it back when you're done."
Can I have a piece?
Okay, but you have to promise me
What?
that I can have it back when you're finished.
The two
Yeah.
people that they meet on sort of like the sidewalk, trance and estrogen. Together they make ecstasy.
I'm trans. She's estrogen. Together we make ecstasy.
And then there was a great line I really loved in here, because when these trance and estrogen are walking away, they invite her or something to come back to their house or the party or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Follow
And
the
she's
music.
like, well, where's your address? And
You should come by sometime. Tonight, we're having a party.
Oh, wait, what's your address?
Listen hard, music travels. You'll find us.
And the guy's like, listen hard, music travels, you'll find us. I was like, that is so like sublime. Like it's just a really cool, they're in this huge city. It's like, just
Yeah.
listen hard, music travels. And then eventually she finds them and stuff. But this was cool. I want to see the full feature. So if anybody out
Mhm.
there has access to the full thing, I'd be super interested to check it out. It's not on IMDb for some reason. What did you think of just what you saw, and then I guess the audition that went along with it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's, kind of a it hit a little bit of a nostalgic note because it reminded me so much of that particular sort of indie wave that was happening in the '90s, that was happening with, like, proliferation of, like, art house cinemas, and
Yeah.
there was this moment where indie film kind of rose up, and it meant we suddenly had access to these bizarre art films. I'm thinking also like early Spike Lee. I'm thinking early, like
Mm.
Quentin Tarantino definitely did a lot
Jim
to
Jarmusch and
Jim
things like
Jim
that.
Jar very Jim Jarmusch
Yeah.
coded, and so I loved seeing that kind of aesthetic again because I haven't in quite a long time, and I also always really like it I love camp Tiffany, I love sexy Tiffany, I love comedy Tiffany, but I do really like to see when she's playing more grounded characters because it's a reminder of the talent that she has,
Yeah.
and her acting ability in this. So I enjoyed that element of it as well. And it was fun to watch her in an audition, right? Because
Yeah.
when we get to the film, there's editing, there's multiple shots taken. Like there is a lot more crafting that goes on to present the performance. Whereas in the audition, it's so raw. And it's just like the way her charisma is so overpowered. This poor guy, when she goes in for the kiss, like like you can just see like the sort of not in a negative way, but like the power dynamic. She just has so much
Yeah.
presence in that clip, and he's just kind of like next
Yeah.
to her.
I mean, she's intimidating.
Yeah, well, she's like turning it on, like
Yeah.
as the kids would say, the riz was strong.
Yep. Yep. So
Mhm.
this was super cool. Again, not technically a short film. It's actually a feature. I think it's roughly an hour long. I did pull up a quick review from the Chicago Tribune back in 1998. So this played at the Chicago Underground Film Festival. And this reviewer said, a dreamlike message film with style aplenty about a young, attractive, slightly naughty pair of aimless lovers who get sucked into the down and dirty world of sex and drugs by a dangerous duo named Trance and Estrogen. Too many scenes of staring off into space and philosophizing bog things down, but the more kinetic moments have genuine pizzazz. So,
Pizzazz.
pizzazz.
That's a great word.
I would love to see this. So if
Yeah,
anybody can get this, or if the director Jim Mazzullo is listening out there, please send it our way because we would love to be able to see this early kind of lost film of
yeah,
hers for sure.
yeah.
All right, next up on my list here is 2007 Kiss Your Ass Goodbye, directed by Jeremy Hamley. So what do we got with this one?
Yes. This is this is apparently she was only doing black and white at this point. This is our other black and white film. So this one opens with a couple going for like a romantic rendezvous at a an upscale hotel establishment. But the fun is cut short when an assassin comes in and takes them both out. From there, we cut to a bowling alley where we see Tiffany Shepis's character. She's just trying to knock down some pins, mind her own business, but instead she's being ogled by the men at the bowling alley. One of the more brave ones in a blow me shirt
I was,
approaches.
I was thinking of you, Rachel. I was like, what's Rachel
Thanks.
gonna say about this guy wearing this shirt?
Oh, well, I love that it's even though there's like no dialogue in this, it is very much a silent film.
Yeah.
There is a nod to her. She's just like, "What is this?" She like points at the shirt. And I was like, "I'm glad we're not just like gonna pass this by and act like we don't see
Yeah.
it." So he approaches her. He gets shot down, obviously. At the same time, the assassin is in the bathroom doing some rails, and they end up literally running into one another and accidentally swapping bags. From there, we see their separate journeys Tiffany goes home, he goes and does some sort of drop off, and when they open the bag, the thing that's not supposed to be or it's supposed to be in the bag is not there, so instead they take him somewhere and torture him to death. Meanwhile, back at home, Tiffany Sheffield opens her bag, and inside she finds the head of the lover.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's a short little noir.
Yes. Yeah. 9 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
Again, all of these that are on YouTube, I'll link them in the show notes in the description, so you guys can go check them out. She plays Bowler Girl. I think that's what she's credited on IMDb. But the
Okay.
end credits of this just call her Young Lady. So
Mm.
IMDb is not correct.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the only, I guess, talking in this is her scream at the end, which
Yeah.
has to have been dubbed. Like that doesn't feel like a Tiffany Shepard scream to me. I was just kind of like, did they just put some rando scream over the top of that? But I thought this was just a fun short. I'm a sucker for film noir,
Yeah.
so like that kind of thing where it's like assassins and double cross and the black and white, that drew me in. I thought that was cool. I thought she was very expressive, being able to convey a lot of stuff without saying a word, which is what an actor needs to do in these types of silent things. She
Mhm.
wasn't super like overly, theatrical, like,
Yeah.
the 1920s type stuff. But like you said, that little thing where she makes just the look on her face when she
Yeah.
kind of like
Little
sees
gesture. Yeah,
the
like
shirt and stuff like that. Really, really good. I enjoyed this one. I thought this was fun.
yeah, me as well. In the same way that the last one was kind of a microcosm of a movement of a particular time, this one feels very of the Guy Ritchie sort of crime thriller kind
Yeah.
of time period.
Yeah.
So I could feel a whisper of that like, but through the lens of a noir, like a modern sort of crime thriller through that sort of because there's even like grain that's added to the footage and stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed this as well. This is my kind of ideal sort of short where you have a very brief kind of basic narrative arc and kind of a just a kind of a punch of an ending. This
Yeah.
is what I like in my shorts. So I did have a good time with Kishore Goodbye.
Yeah. When we eventually talk to her, I'd be curious, like, what, if some filmmaker's like, hey, I'm just going to do a 9 minute short, you want to be in it, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
what sort of drives someone to be in a short film as opposed to like, well, no, I want to do a feature film, and
Yeah.
maybe that's more quote unquote worth my time than something small like this. But
Yeah.
having kind of like a filmography filled with these little short films, I think is really cool because I don't
Mhm.
know if a lot of actors actually do that and are willing to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, this person. I mean, maybe she knew the director ahead of time, and it was, but hey, I'll do it as a favor or whatever. But it just seems like, you know, feature films seem so much more glamorous. And of course, we know when we're
And
watching
pay
some of the
better.
stuff. Yeah. And so I'd be curious to know the decision making between just doing
Yeah.
something like this, if it was just a fun thing, or if it's like,
Yeah.
no, it's another job sort of thing or whatnot. But,
Right, right. Like, is this a gig or is this for the love of the game? Like,
right.
and I
Right.
feel I'm guessing when we talk to her, it's gonna be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Oh, sure. 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 For sure. So moving right along here, I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear you talk about this one. This came out in
Oh boy.
2008. This is PG Porn, directed by none other than James Gunn. There's two episodes in which she appears. Episode 2, titled Penis, and episode 3, titled A Very Penis Christmas. So 6 minutes long, both episodes. These are very, very short. Now, were you aware that these things were a thing? Because
No.
I had no idea.
No.
I was like, what the hell is PG porn? Like, even back in the day, obviously James Gunn comes from the Trauma family, shall we say?
Indeed.
And I
Indeed.
think what it was, his partner Saffron, whatever, he's credited as producer on these as well. It was like, these are the dudes running the DC universe right
I
now,
know.
and
It's
this is
wild.
and this is what they were putting out. This apparently was like, these were a bunch of different shorts. The context was they would take like a porn star and then put like a legitimate actor and make these sort of like, I think, what does he say? It says these are for people who love everything about porn except the sex.
Yeah.
So that was sort of like the tagline on
Yeah.
this. All right. Well,
Interesting that the actor in this, what is it, Michael Rosenblatt? Isn't
yes,
he
Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum? Isn't he Lex Luthor
Yeah.
in one of
In Smallville, and he's got
Yeah,
a
I
really
knew
he's got a
it.
really great podcast called like Inside of You, where he literally just talks to people about don't well, your mind doesn't need to go there, Rachel. But he actually talks to like all these different celebrities, like in-depth stuff about trauma and
Wow.
all of that stuff, therapy and things of that nature. And it's like, man, because I never watched Smallville. That was a Steve thing. Steve was a big Smallville guy.
Yeah.
Had no idea who this Michael Rosenbaum guy is, other than from his podcast. And I see him in this. I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to look at him the same way after this. But let's talk about PG porn, Rachel. Episodes 2 and
Yes.
3. We'll just put them together because she's barely in these.
Yeah. I don't even know, is she in the first one? I don't remember
At the
even
very end, yeah,
she
when
is.
when everybody comes together after Lucy, when Charlie falls over,
Oh, right,
everybody shows
right.
up. She's there as Sally
Got
in the
it.
background.
Got it. I saw her in the second one for sure.
Oh yeah, we
So
all saw her in the second one.
yes, we
That's
did.
for-
Okay, so this, as you said, PG porn for people who don't like everything about it but the sex. So here we get a Charlie Brown sexless porn parody. In the first episode, we have Lucy showing up to proposition Charlie Brown before they can seal the deal. She pulls a Lucy. Basically, she's like, okay, we can do this, but first you got to kick this football. And I think if you've ever seen a single thing of Peanuts, you know exactly where this goes.
yeah.
Then in the second episode, the rest of the Peanuts gang basically just kind of get in on the action before Charlie Brown wreaks his bloody and violent revenge. And yeah.
Yeah.
It is quite a James Gunn film.
James Gunn before he had to grow up and be a real adult.
I mean,
Running like
this is James Gunn before he had to become a real adult to the level where he could make Slither. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, they're dropping the R
let
word in this.
alone Superman.
They're dropping a lot of problematic words in this. I think in our chat, I was like, Rachel, can't wait
Oh.
for you to watch this one to sort of see what you
There's
think.
another one that's worse, but we'll get there. We'll get
Okay.
there.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Full disclosure, this I'm not typically a comedy person anyway.
Mhm.
This is not my thing. But what does Tiffany do? I guess in this. I mean, what is her role? I
Yeah, this
suppose?
is where she definitely like leans into her the campy side of what she does. She's like clearly having a good time.
Yeah.
She's in on the joke. There is a very specific stylistic choice that they're making, which is like camp and sort of like that porn style over sexualized cartoonish kind
Yeah.
of performance, and she does she does a great job doing it.
Oh yeah.
I
She
do
does
think
she does that thing way better in a film we're gonna talk about in a little bit here. In
Mm.
Thirsty, the whole
Oh.
sort of sex pot
Yeah.
thing. It's done way better in that than it is here.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I will say I within me there are two wolves. Like there's the part of me that's just like, oh, edgelord, right? Like that's just my instant kind of reaction to things like this. But there's another critical part of me that was sort of watching the like proto James Gunn of it all and seeing all the elements that would go on to make things that I really, really love. Um, what's the John Cena one?
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Like it's all there. It's all present. It's just like super unrefined. And so I could not bring myself to hate this because I could see what it would eventually rot.
Yeah. It's very trauma
Very
in
trauma.
its sort of sensibilities, and you could
Yeah.
imagine trauma doing this only with all the nudity. So
Yeah.
like
I mean,
putting
there's
that together.
something kind of interesting about the restraint of being like, it's porn without the sex, right? So what does that leave? That leaves campy humor, kind of
Yeah.
cartoonish acting, and violence. And that
Yeah.
is an interesting kind of, even if it's not meant as a critique, it becomes an interesting critique and exploration of the different elements of the recipe that goes into adult content,
Yeah.
especially back then.
There's a line I wrote down. She says, first you need to, when Lucy's trying to get Charlie to kick the football, she's like, first you need to kick this before you can hit this.
Charlie Brown, you need to kick this before you hit this.
Which I'm like, all right, it's not my style of comedy. But we do get her in a death reel. She does die in this. So Charlie Brown kills her. So
Yeah.
we'll play the death reel right now.
Come on!
And we're back.
I love it.
So we do have the death reel. So yeah, not my thing, the PG porn, but it is out there on YouTube, and I'll post some links to it. Red Door, 2008, directed by David Pike. What's the overview of Red Door?
Yeah, so we're introduced to a guy named Todd who works in a very strange job alone in a building, in a room occupied by a locked red door. While he's at work, he gets a call basically warning him, "No, do not leave the premises. It's chaos outside." And he's confused and finds himself becoming increasingly curious about what is behind this red door because nobody at work seems to know. There we flash back, which is where Tiffany comes in. We get his job interview. We learn that he is someone who lost his previous job because of drinking following the unsolved murder of his wife.
Yeah. There's a great line in there where Tiffany's like, "Oh, you're working with Dr. Torrance to get over this alcohol addiction."
I hear you've been working with Dr. Torrance. Help you get over your little alcohol addiction. Help you get past your wife's death. How's that working out for you?
Or something like, you did the thing. David Pike, you did the thing.
Correct. And then we go back to present day where he kind of awakens from maybe some sort of fugue state. He finds his recorder is covered in blood. Inside his desk, the drawer is full of blood and a knife that he recognizes and a key. He then cuts his hand while trying to open a briefcase. And he, I don't know, kind of has a little bit of a psychotic break. We see him looking at the red door. He smiles creepily and eventually he moves towards it. Oh, right. In the flat. That's right. Sorry, I forgot one thing. He also has a flashback where we see him talking to presumably his dead wife, and
Yeah.
she's killed by a man in a mask. And the film opens with him going inside the red door. This all feels very metaphorical to me, Matthew. Explain to me what this all means.
I assumed hell was behind the red door. That's kind of what I assumed, where he was kind of trapped in this weird sort of state in which he, I don't know if he intentionally tried to kill his wife, and he's just dealing with the guilt of all of it, and he's just kind of like in this weird space where he hasn't owned it, and then once
Mhm.
he finally owns it, he goes through the door, and then he's like in hell. That would be my sort of guess. I don't know. What was your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely came away from it being like, okay, this is someone who killed his wife and is either in denial about it or
Yeah.
really genuinely was in sort of some sort of fugue state, something like that. Um and the red door was, like you said, like kind of like an acceptance and an understanding of what he had done. But what I was trying to figure out was he recruited for the job because he had done this thing, or if this is
Oh, yeah.
all just like is there some sort of business structure behind this, or is this all just one like um almost like a psychotic sort of vision that he's having?
Yeah, I thought Tiffany Shepis was gonna turn out to be the wife because they do that quick thing
Mm.
where it flashes and her face is, like, covered in blood at the very end of
Mhm.
her scene, and
Mhm.
so but we don't see her, like, get killed, we don't see her die or anything like that, and so I
No.
my as I was watching, I was like, "Oh, well, maybe Tiffany Shepis will turn out to be the wife that is dead," and he's trying to
Mm.
have a conversation with her in his own mind about,
Yeah.
why 'cause he was like, "Yeah, the last job I had, I was smoking a cigarette or something and it burned down the place or
Yeah.
something. There's that all, but yeah, I don't know. I don't exactly know
Yeah.
the meaning of it, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily know if that's the point. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that film can do where it just leaves you up to interpretation.
Yeah.
I'm sure David
Totally.
Pike will watch this and he'll be like, "That had nothing to do with what it was. It was something
Right?
completely
You're like,
different."
take off the tinfoil hat, you weirdos.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's part of the power of film in which you can
Agree.
make something kind of ambiguous and metaphorical and stuff, and whoever watches it kind of takes from it, whether it's, their subconsciously their own experiences or
Mhm.
whatever. And I thought it was cool. I thought it was visually done pretty well.
Yeah, the direction is great in this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a really cool sequence when a shot that I really liked, because I am a director, so a really cool shot where it's like you only see Tiffany's silhouette, and then the camera kind of like slides and around
Uh-huh.
him and Sierra. I was like, that's a really cool shot. So
Yeah.
visually, it looked really really cool. I wish Tiffany was in it more.
Agree.
Her performance, she's just kind of like she's not like an angry like boss character, but she's just kind of like questioning him about various things and kind of like
Mhm.
a
It's a little
stern,
menacing,
little
which I don't
stern,
mind.
little stern. I know you're into that. You're into that. We know. We know. So yeah, I mean, like I said, oh, that's the other thing. So David Pike, who basically, reached out. I don't know if I reached out to him first or he reached out to me or whatever. But because again, we talked to these people months in the past, and by the time we actually get to record, I'm like, how do we get this movie? Like, what was it? But he said, now, are you a fan of Picard, the television show?
I've seen some of it. Yeah.
Okay, I have never seen any of it, but
Okay.
he said that this film was a big influence on season 3 of Picard,
Oh.
especially with regards to a red door. And so I know Tiffany's
Oh.
husband, I think he was a writer on Picard or a
Mhm.
producer or something of that nature. So I haven't seen Picard yet. I
And she
eventually will
was
get
in
there.
it, right? She's in
Yeah.
Picard, isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's in that season. So eventually we'll have to watch it, all right?
Interesting. Yeah, we're gonna
So
get there.
so we might have to double back, and once we watch Picard, see like, oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah,
He
I love
on the
that.
opposite side of the red door is like the USS Enterprise or something, and that's where he's going. I don't know. So yeah, so kind of interesting thing. So thank you, David Pike, for hooking us up with
Yeah.
Red Door. And if I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or not, if it is, I'll put it in the show notes for people to check it out.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to 2009, a film called Thirsty, directed by Andrew Catch. So let's talk about Cherry, the slushy goddess.
Yeah, I know, right? So so here we're introduced to a very thirsty Joe Lynch. He is just so parched, just so
Yeah.
parched. He's on the road, but no matter what he does, he just like cannot satisfy his thirst. He cannot get a drink. The initial convenience store that introduces him to the idea of having a slushy refuses to take his card. The machines outside another one are broken. The sinks in a bathroom are fucking disgusting.
He tries to like
Um,
put it. No, wait. What movie where someone put their head down and was trying to drink out of a dirty sink? Was that this one?
This is this one, and it just, like,
Okay, I was like,
splashes him in the
oh,
face with, like,
yeah.
brown
Okay,
water.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oof.
I understand why you're blocking it out, it's very traumatic.
Yeah, it's gross.
Um, then he runs into some gentlemen in a parking lot drinking beers, and they chase him off, and he has some choice words for them that I will not repeat. They are not great.
They are problematic, as Rachel would
Yes,
say.
exactly. Like, honestly, after like, I was like, "Penis, that was kinda
Yeah,
edgelordy." Then after
James
this one,
Gunn
I
is
was
like
like,
conservative. James Gunn's so conservative with that PG porn stuff
yeah.
compared to some of the stuff
This
here.
was definitely the tougher one for me. Um, but the other there are a couple other things. In addition to being very thirsty, we learn by the way of radio dispatches that there's a thrill killer on the loose.
Sid
He
Haig is one of those radio voices too. He's the religious guy
Oh,
because I was like, that's Sid Haig, right? It's
damn.
Sid Haig.
You got a
Yeah.
good ear. Um, which over the course of the night, as he finds a joint, he's having a great time, still very thirsty, cotton-mouthed, and it leads him into having a hallucination, sort of like a vision, a fantasy of him stopping at a place with a slushie, and he's greeted by the slushy goddess played by Tiffany Shepis.
Hi, I'm Cherry.
I'm Joe.
Well, you gonna stand there all night, Joe, with that pump in your hand? Or are you gonna take me?
And together they enjoy a slushy, a splashy slushy, and then are zipped off into the sky by a UFO before he rights himself and almost gets hit by a car. Not that the night's going to end up any better for him because he finally spots another slushy in the distance, pulls over, goes inside the gas station only to discover that it is already occupado by the thrill killer.
Get my slushy, get my slushy, get my... Oh, hey, oh. Oh. Shit.
Who initially seems to let him have a
Yeah.
slushy only to chop off his head, and that closes with him using his tongue to inch ever closer to the slushy puddle.
Yeah. If they would have like chopped that whole sequence in the middle that is very problematic
Yeah.
out, this would have been like super awesome. Like
Yeah.
I had so much fun watching this until that one horrible cringe moment. I'm like,
Oof.
oh god, and it kind
Oh.
of like it was hard for me to get back on board
Yeah,
with it at
same,
that point.
same.
But I thought this was just fun. I love when Tiffany comes out and it's like was Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science or whatever when she
Yes.
comes out and it's
Yes.
like she's got this like crazy curly like red hair and she's
Yeah.
just like Cherry the slushy goddess. And what's cool is like when they're driving on the highway you see all the billboards with her on it
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. I thought this was super super fun. I actually laughed towards the end when he sees the thrill killer and he's just like, dude, man, I just want the slushy and then I'm gone. Like, come on. You know how it is. You're on the road, you're thirsty, and the guy's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, go have your slushy.
I told you to leave. I gave you a chance.
Dude, I'm just getting a slushy. You have no clue what it's like to be thirsty out on the road, okay? Plus, there isn't a place around for miles.
Just a slushy? That's it?
Yup, cherry. Root beer flavor tastes like a bag of dicks.
Now what the hell? I know how it is. You want a slushy? Have yourself a slushy.
Really? You're serious?
Go on ahead. Watch the intestines down at the end of the aisle.
Oh. Good point. Dude, you.
So I thought that was fun. But yeah, She looked great in this. She acted great in this. And yeah, I mostly enjoyed Thirsty.
Totally agree. Like, you're right. If were able to cut out that one sequence, which we did not need, there were plenty of other examples of him not being able to get his thirst satiated.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's very fun. It's silly. I think I agree with you. The Tiffany scene is a lot of fun. I like the UFO and even the like kind of terrible VFX of him flying off into the like all of that is very charming.
Yeah.
And I think the ending is visually, it's a great gag. Like, it's really, really fun with the decapitated head trying to get that fucking slushy.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Like he's really trying. Did you think he was going to get it? Because I thought it was going to cut right before it showed whether or not he got the slushy or not.
I thought he was going to get the slushy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool if they would have cut right before, so you don't know if he got it or not.
Ambiguity. Filmmakers like to use that as a tool.
There you go. All right. Next up, 2014. This is directed by Tiffany's husband, Sean Tretta. M is for Matchmaker. This is only 3 minutes long. This is part of the ABCs of horror. So is that still going on? That sort of.
I think so. I think they just did the 2.
Okay, I wasn't sure because
Yeah.
I remember when this was a thing back in the day, and I actually had some friends up in Omaha that had one of their shorts included in it. Yeah, what is this one all about?
Sure. So we meet Tiffany. She is a matchmaker and she's helping a single gentleman find his special lady. She tries to set him up on a first date with a blonde with big boobs because what's wrong with that?
I love her line. What's wrong with liking big tits?
What about tits? You like big tits? What? What's wrong with liking big tits? Come on, you're a grown man. It's okay to like big tits.
I know.
There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong.
He arrives and he spots that she has a dog, and that turns out it's a deal breaker. He can't do that. So he chickens out. So he goes back to the matchmaker and she sets him up with another one, which is another very fun cameo. We get Felissa Rose.
Can I help you?
I'm here for our date.
You're Ted?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, sure. You know what? I'm just gonna go get my purse and come on in, Ted.
Who is, I love her.
She's great.
She's just delightful. She's just a delightful person. Who just like understands the gig and is having the best time. And I love that. But here they make a connection. It seems like he goes in, but when she turns her back, he smashes her head in with a hammer. Back to the matchmaker for a third round, which is where we get the big reveal that this is not your standard romance matchmaker. She is a matchmaker that sets murderers up with victims. And we close on kind of a little line about her mismatch eyes.
Yeah. One's blue and one's green. And he asks her, like, why is that? Not everything is a perfect match.
Can I ask you an unrelated personal question? How is it that your eyes are 2 different colors?
Sweetheart, not everything's a perfect match.
Irony.
Yeah. So what'd you think of this one?
Yeah, this one's fun because it feels a little Twilight Zone-y in the way that it has the twist ending. And it's light, it's fun, it's quick. This is exactly, again, I love a short with an arc, but I also love a short that delivers on a quick gimmick that has kind of a fun little twist at the end, that has a little EC Comics Twilight Zone-y vibe, and just like cranks it out and kind of catches you off guard and like pulls the rug out from underneath you in a way. So yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot.
Yeah, I like this one. I can't remember the whole ABCs of horror. I know I've watched both of them. I can't remember all the different things, but I do remember what I liked about a lot of them is they were quick. And I think because they have to do 26 short films in that, right? And so, I think maybe there was a time limit imposed
probably
on a lot of those. But yeah, this was fun. I mean, she's just sitting at that sort of like diner booth, but she's got a very fun sort of disposition to her where she's basically like, how do I want to describe it? It's kind of like she's almost playing herself in a way. Like I imagine this is like old school Tiffany Shepis, like early stuff where she's just kind of like big and she's enjoying like the bigness of it and not being ashamed to just say whatever she wants to like the the waitress who comes over and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I thought this was fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed M is for Matchmaker for sure. So
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the characters, even if she has more screen times, are like not like they're not flat, but they're not quite as big. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So yeah, I agree with you.
yeah.
Like this one has a lot of impact, even though it's a short time on screen.
And when it's cool to have like Felissa Rose because Felissa Rose and Kane Hodder do the podcast with Tiffany Shepis.
Oh,
So
right. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's cool seeing like Felissa Rose because there's so many scream queens out there. Like
Mhm.
if we were monetized and had a whole like fleet of people that worked on this, like okay, we're doing a Felissa Rose show and we're gonna do a
Yeah.
Danielle Harris show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have the bandwidth for all of that. But Felissa Rose is great to see. She's always fun, like super fun. She's got great personality.
Yep.
So, all right, that's M is for Matchmaker. So we're moving on now to Once When I Was Dead, directed by Scott W. Perry. This is 18 minutes long, and this was one that I actually had to reach out to him to try to get, and I think he sent this one to me. And he also asked if I could quickly shout out his new film Follower, which is on YouTube. I'll link it in the description. Doesn't have Tiffany Shepis in it. It's just a quick, I think it's maybe like 10, 13 minutes, something like that. Two
Cool.
people sitting kind of like a detective interrogating basically a cult member, and
Ooh.
how it's all sort of the dialogue is very sort of like the detective's like, this guy was a cult member and he's trying to murder all these people. We found all these guns and all this different stuff in the compound. Explain what happened here and blah, blah, blah. But there's a cool twist at the end of it. There's a super cool twist where this cult member is interacting with this detective. So I won't spoil it, but what I will say is Scott W. Perry Follower was really cool. I enjoyed it. I'll link it in the description, so everyone go check that out. But
Sounds
he also
good.
did Once When I Was Dead. What's this one all about?
Yeah, so this one is about an artist who is really struggling. She has in the past felt very inspired and did some great art that did well, and her latest show is kind of a flop. And it
Kind
leaves
of.
her
She sold no paintings.
no paintings.
She's broke, Rachel.
Yeah, I mean,
Sad
relatable
times for the
content.
artist.
Yeah, yeah. So naturally, she's feeling pretty hopeless, and she starts seeing these visions of a couple that are kind of taunting her, but also like becoming violent and bleeding like ichor and not blood. While also kind of getting sexy. But this vision is interrupted by Lizzie, who is this woman played by Tiffany Shepis.
Jesus Christ, you can't get a moment's peace down there. And I'm sorry, I thought this room was unoccupied.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm Lucy.
Who informs her how much she admires her work and is like connected to the darkness in it, and is encouraging her to go down that road. And she tells her about, this other artist that it reminds her of, and really kind of encourages her to self-harm and perhaps even kill herself in order to create dark work and good work again. And it does influence the artist. She actually almost kills herself and is fortunately saved at the last minute, and yet still goes on to create great art again. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the gist.
Yeah. At first I thought we were going to get another Tiffany death reel thing as I was watching this, but I don't think she dies in this.
She
She's
just
just
kind of
kind of like I don't know if she's like a spirit or a guide from hell. So maybe
I
she came from
feel
the red
like
door or something.
yeah, maybe. My interpretation is she's kind of the personification of the way that people almost like fetishize pain as a muse for
Okay.
art. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
'cause she shows that she had also like, tried to commit
Mhm.
suicide, cut marks on her wrists and stuff like that. This was interesting to me because I had made a movie that's kind of somewhat similar.
I did think of your short,
Did
yes.
you? Did you?
Yes, I
And
did.
so there was a really cool sequence where the camera's like above this girl and it kind of like pulls back, and you see like those angel wings, but they're all kind of like in
Mhm.
blood. I was like, that's a really cool shot. I wish I
Uh-huh.
would have been able to think of something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this feels like, how do I want to describe it? It feels like an artist talking about art, which is a classic trope from horror going all the way back, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always
yeah.
like, I'm a struggling artist. You know, write what you know, film what you know. It's like, oh well, I'm an artist. I'm going to write about and shoot other stuff about artists having uh, pain and problems and stuff. And I like the fact that it didn't end on her death,
Yeah.
because I was just like, if it would have ended with her just like killing herself and dying, I've been like, okay, I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
But I like that there was kind of a happy ending to it,
Mhm.
in a way, which kind of surprised me as I was watching it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this was an interesting watch for sure.
Yeah.
Once When I Was Dead, Tiffany's role in it, yeah, she's really just trying to like basically tell the girl to like kill herself essentially, like kill
Yeah.
you, like cut yourself, you'll make great art if you suffer.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely an
Yeah.
interesting movie for sure. And I don't know if you can watch this on YouTube, but if you can, I'll link it. So
Yeah.
thank you, Scott, for sending that over to us to check out for sure.
Yeah.
Next up, The Security Guards from 2014, directed by Jodie Fidel. 5 minutes long. What is this
Yeah.
one all about?
Yeah, so this one's fun.
I love this one.
This is a good one. I
And I
really loved
hate
it. Talk about
zombies, and I loved it. I hate zombies even though I'm wearing a zombie t-shirt. I hate them, but I
Yeah, I
love this one.
mean, talk about like EC coded
Yes.
Twilight Zoney, right? So this one opens up in a graveyard with a man digging up a grave and Tiffany kind of like bossing him around, which is of course, my favorite genre of Tiffany is her
She
bossing
is
people around.
so great as like that bitchy sort of character where it's just, oh, she's so great in that.
Yes. So they successfully break into the grave, and inside they discover a chained up chest full of gold doubloons or coins.
Yeah.
Doubloons is a more fun word. Um, but they're rich, yay. But before he can even celebrate, she decides she's rich and she blows off his head. And you think happy ending. Our bitchy Tiffany Shepis character that we love on site is gonna go off and ride off into the sunset with her trunk full of gold. But no, unfortunately, that trunk is cursed, and out of the ground comes the security guards, aka the undead of the grave, and they cover her in goo, turn her into a zombie, and in the end, she gets into a grave and buries herself, and all is well again in the graveyard.
And now she's a security guard.
Uh-huh.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
super, super awesome. It definitely has that EC Comics thing, which I adore. Like, I love the 50s EC Comics stuff, but it's
Yes.
also like cross combined with like 70s Lucio Fulci type zombie
Yeah.
stuff. You even got like
Yeah.
the Italian like smash zooms, like when she's on the ground, the camera like zooms in on her face as she's
Yeah.
screaming and stuff. The effects work, but the practical type stuff looked awesome. Like, it
Yeah.
looked really, really cool.
Yeah.
And in Death Reel, we get another Tiffany
We get a
Shepis Death
good
Reel.
one. Because
Yeah.
I love the puppet transformation, like, at the end when the puppet, like, opens its eyes
Yeah.
before she gets up and goes to her grave, like, that kinda stuff, even though it's, like, so rubbery, it gets into, like, kinda Steven Kostanski lane for me in a way that I just really, really love. This is
Yeah.
probably my favorite of them all. Even though it's just, like, a little quick one, this
It's
one was the
cool.
most fun.
It certainly was, and I was not expecting a bunch of zombies to bust out and
No!
do all that stuff, and they looked cool. They're, like, barfing crap all over the place, and they're
Yes.
all wet and gross. And it's like, okay, all right. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a zombie fan typically, but I really like this one. So
Yeah.
I'll
Good
have to look.
ironic title. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
good.
have to look into the director, Jodie Fidel, to see if she's done anything else,
Mm.
because this was cool. It makes
Yeah.
me interested to see more stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, moving right along, we've got All Sales Fatal from 2019, directed by Michael Verratti. 4
Yes.
minutes. This is part of the December anthology film. So,
Yes.
what's this one all about?
Yes, Michael Verratti of the like Boulet Brothers fame. For those people like me who are obsessed with Dracula and Boulet Brothers, he
I
is
still have
someone.
not seen it. Don't know.
Oh, Matthew. Anyway, this one takes place at Christmas time, and Tiffany Shepis is essentially playing a Karen. We see her. we
She's
see
so good in
She's
this role.
honestly, this is the other one I really, really loved. It's just
Yeah.
fun. It's so camp. So she plays, I guess, like I said, like a Karen, but she's like a mom who is trying to return a toy to a department store without a receipt, and feels very entitled as a very good customer that she should be able to do so. But the clerk says no, that is not company policy, and he refuses to return the toy. And she's mad and she storms out. And you'd think this is where the short ends in reality, but no, we're not done yet. She wrestles the bell away from the person out front who's like ringing a bell for donations, and goes inside and smacks the clerk in the face with the bell.
I didn't think so. No, it really wasn't. My aunt called.
Hey!
And they end up in a essential like fight to the death, because he will not take back this toy. And there's a little bit of a little ironic twist at the very end regarding the receipt, but that's essentially it.
Yeah.
This thing is so freaking camp.
Oh yeah, and you could tell she's having the time of her life when she's doing
Mhm.
this. I mean, it's just she's screaming, they're throwing each other around, stabbing each other, and
Yeah.
all of that. It's again, it's perfect for a short 3 to 4 minute thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's it's funny because like those bell ringers. I have a whole script about a bell ringer.
You do?
I do. I
Oh
do. I have a
boy.
whole script about a bell ringer thing. And when I was watching this, I was like, there's been so many times. Not that I don't think people should donate, but those fucking bells. Ring, 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 ring. I'm just, and
Crazy
it's
making.
so loud. You're walking into some place. Sometimes I feel like I just want to whack, like do that. Strangely enough, the last time, this past winter, there was a bell ringer at some department store I went to, but it was like a digital bell. It wasn't like the loud
Really?
Yeah, it was like a digital bell, and it was very calming and soothing to the ears. And I was like,
Hey.
hey, maybe one thing in the world that's getting better.
You found the one.
I found the one thing that's getting better in the world.
I love it.
So yeah, All Sales Fatal. This was fun. This was super, super fun. I love the end. We'll put this in the death reel right
Yes.
now because she dies in this one. Spoiler alert.
You ruined Christmas!
You're welcome.
Now, can you make the return?
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
But definitely go check out the anthology film December. I did not watch the entire anthology, but certainly this short was excellent. Loved
Definitely.
watching
It's
this.
very cathartic if you're like, ugh, about the way people act at Christmas. This is fun. This is
Yes.
a fun one.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about 2019's Beauty Juice, directed by Natasha Halevi. 5
Yes.
minutes. You here to be juiced? Rachel?
You know I am.
Let's juice it.
You don't think this happened naturally, right? This is the juice. No, okay.
Juice.
So this is about a beautiful young woman who goes to this mysterious house for the juice.
Yeah.
She goes in, she sits down in the waiting room, and there are several women who are also there waiting for the juice. And she looks at them, and each time she does, she sees a beautiful woman that then flashes to something like evil and creepy and bloody and weird. And of course, one of them is Tiffany Shepis. And at the end of this very kind of brief short, we hear like a blender in the background, and a woman comes out and she's holding these juices and like is essentially ready to hand them out. I have thoughts about this one, but I'll let you go.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. I watched it twice. I
Okay.
didn't quite understand like what happened because I was like, is she just the victim and they're just juicing this girl and they're giving it to the people waiting in the lobby? Like I was actually confused about the end of this and didn't quite get it. And that's just me, I guess. I don't know. What is this movie about? Explain it
I
to me.
mean, I think it is like very clearly like a commentary on the links that women are feel compelled to go to in order to achieve beauty and maintain beauty. Like there's definitely some beauty horror in this. I also think that there is a very tongue-in-cheek kind of jab being taken at like the whole LA juice craze, where everybody is very obsessed with these juices and their supposed like adaptogenics and different things that are supposed to be beautifying.
I had no idea there was a juice craze.
Oh yeah, babe.
Okay,
It's a
okay,
whole thing.
maybe it wasn't like I wasn't getting because I was like, what is the juice? Like, what is the juice? I had no idea what they were
I
talking
mean,
about.
it's like the Arawak smoothies. It's the
Oh,
celery juice thing that was like people swore by. There have been
okay.
many a juice craze, and there is a whole like massive industry built around things like nootropics and adaptogens and all of these like whatever things that are supposed to
See,
be like
this is
miracle cures.
this is the hard-hitting stuff you bring to the show, Rachel. I need to go to the California correspondent to tell me about the juice craze so I
Yes,
understand what's
this is your
going on in
coastal
beauty
elite
juice.
report.
Yeah, because I was confused. I was like, what is the
Yeah.
juice?
I mean, there is a whole sort of like it's something that's kind of like developing, but there's like this whole vertical of horror about like it's called beauty horror, and it's about different elements around these sort of like ideas of beauty standards and like like often mixed with body horror.
Okay.
The Ugly Stepsister is a great example. The Substance was the big one that
Substance,
everybody
yeah.
saw. Yeah, like, and I think this falls under that, and so it's very interesting because it's like a mix of these like young and slightly older beautiful women who are in Hollywood in this short.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
think Krista Allen's
exploring
one
this.
of them. Tiffany Shepis,
Yeah.
she doesn't say anything. There's no
No.
like, she has no lines or anything. She's just kind of sitting there and
Mhm.
acts scary in that quick flash. But okay,
This is a cool one. I like this one a lot.
okay, cool. I mean, I thought it was shot really well. I thought it looked really cool. The lighting and
Mhm.
everything in that. I did not understand the juice craze. I didn't get exactly what it was
I'm gonna
going
send
for.
you a podcast about celery juice. You're gonna be like,
Okay, all right. So we got two more.
Okay.
We're going to day 14,
Ooh, we are
2020, directed by Sean
vibe
Tretta.
shift. Yeah.
What's that?
I said
Oh,
vibe shift.
yeah, we're going away from the juice, and now we're going to COVID era type stuff. This one's 26 minutes long. I watched an interview with Tiffany and her husband talking about the making of this movie, and it's crazy to me that COVID started like 6 years ago. Like it's been that long since all of this was happening, but
I know.
obviously we were all sort of quarantined in our home and whatnot, and I guess from what I understand is her children, their children, but I guess they were bored. They had nothing to do, so they're like, well, let's make a movie here.
Yeah.
And I think Sean made this funny joke. It's like, yeah, they started making it 30 minutes and the kids didn't want to do it anymore because making a movie is not easy. It's boring and time consuming and tedious. I know. But they were like, no, we're doing it. Like we're going through. And so they were able to kind of like film this in their home while COVID was occurring. And so what is day 14 all about?
Sure. So this is set during a kind of zombie-like pandemic. We're introduced to these two children who are surviving in their home and with the help of daily letters from their mother, like telling them what to do each day, like giving them activities, giving them ideas and routines. But also, part of that routine is to feed their mother, who is being ravaged by this disease upstairs. What we come to learn over the course of the film is that on the 14th day, if it's either that's the make or break day. Like, you either are going to come out of this or you're going to be like full-fledged zombie, no coming back. And she instructs her children to kill her. I feel like the language is a little rough on this. Like, put me out of my misery, give me some peace. But like, you have to kill me.
Yeah. Kill
So,
me.
and she has a system for how they're going to do it. They've been feeding her raw meat, and they're going to inject some sort of poison into this raw meat that will kill her. But instead, they manage to accidentally solve the problem, and she comes down and she's healed. And the film ends with this very hopeful message about like they've disseminated the information about this cure, and there's hope for a better future on the other side of this. Like you said, it was made during lockdown. And you can tell this happened at the beginning when there
Yep.
was still hope for humanity and your neighbors and friends and
Yep.
family and common decency and a sense of coming together. The
Yep.
next film's I think was later in the process, but this one was like early, where we all still like loved our brothers and sisters
Yeah.
and theys and thems.
Yep.
What did you think of day 14?
I like this one. I thought
Mhm.
for putting something together in
Yeah.
your house
Yeah.
over COVID,
Mhm.
awesome. Like, I love that creative people were still out there doing stuff,
Yes.
even through all of this. Like our a friend of the show, Josh Wexelman, he filmed a whole feature film, Pigface, during
Yeah.
COVID, and
Amazing.
I had to cancel my film that I was planning to make because it was just like, I don't want people to get sick. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want that kind of responsibility of someone getting COVID on set and then killing somebody that I care about because I'm making a movie. But this showed like ingenuity, right? Because obviously they're kids. Mia and Max are the two kids in this, and just, man, I don't know what their kids think of like this now, but looking back on, like, see, I'd be like, that was awesome that we did something like this in
Yeah.
this horrible time. And I don't think we as a society have actually ever fully recovered from the COVID
No.
stuff.
No.
We haven't recovered from it, and the world got worse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I the fact that there is this kind of like very hopeful ending is actually refreshing, that
Mhm.
people can still be like, you know what, even though everything sucks, you still need that hopeful ending, because so many people right now in this world, in this country, are just like, what is the point? Like, what is the point of all of this? Because I was talking about to people like, what, name one thing other than what I named earlier. Name one thing that's actually getting better in the world. Anything. Anything. It's like, oh yeah, I was talking to a buddy about like the new PlayStation decision. Oh, we're canceling all the physical stuff. No more. You
Yeah.
know how many boutique horror companies are going to go out of business, like Severin and all those, because where are the Blu-rays? They're all in Xbox or in PlayStations, right?
Mm.
That's like the main place these
Mhm.
people watch their movies. So it's going to have so many ramifications. It's like we're taking stuff away from you that you used to have. And I used to make a joke to my mom when my mom was growing up. She's like, "Yeah, everything's worse than it was when I was growing up." I was like, "Give me a break. That's not true." It's actually kind of true. You kind of see the arc of things just getting worse. The things in your food are crappier. The service has gotten crappier. Private equity is destroying everything that was good. And it's just like, man, it's all bad. It's all
Yeah.
bad. So seeing like a hopeful ending, it's like, actually feels good. Makes me feel good
Yeah.
to see a hopeful ending. And, I don't know. What'd you think of this one?
Yeah, I agree with you. One thing that I love to see is families making things together. I know
Yeah.
that's like super hokey, maybe because I didn't have that kind of dynamic with my family who like literally moved out of state without telling me. So I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh,
This
jeez.
is why I am the way I am, Matthew.
Well, look,
Like,
I mean,
this is formed by trauma.
I come from a broken home as well,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, you
I
know,
get it.
trauma, recognize trauma.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's so beautiful, and I think it teaches your kids a love of creativity and the satisfaction and joy of having made something, and has these, like, irreplaceable, one-of-a-kind memories. Like, one of
Yeah.
my favorite, filmmaking sort of collectives is the Addams Family, which is a family that just makes movies together. So it's, like, all they do. So on that level, even like aside from the movie itself, which I also enjoyed, I think once I realized what it was, because I was like, these people look a lot like Tiffany Shepard.
Yeah.
I think these might be her kids. I didn't know about it till the end of the situation. But that even I was just like moved and touched. And I thought the performances for those kids were like pretty great. And it was
Yeah.
to know that they did that with like no resources in their own home during lockdown is such an amazing achievement. And I agree with you. Like, I love a twisty, sort of ironic ending, but it as much as I was like, well, we all know that's not how this would go, it is nice to see like
Yeah.
people actually have hope
Yeah. No,
for us
you have to.
out of us.
You have to. You have to. Our dear friend Steve, I had a conversation with him and my friend Jeremy, who's the co-host with me on Exhuming the X-Files,
Mhm.
before Steve left, and they are team No Hope. And I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
I
team
know.
Hope. I'm like, hope is coming. It's coming. Like
Yeah.
you can't lose it, because once you
Yeah.
lose it,
Yeah.
then
You've
everything's over.
lost.
So,
It's over.
but yeah, this was cool. This was cool, and I hope her kids look back at this and be like, "Wow, this was just a super rad thing that we did," and it helps that it was good.
Mhm.
And there's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I love when Tiffany's like chained to the bed, and she's just like
Yeah.
full zombified, like,
Yeah.
"Ah," and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
like hissing at them. That was
yeah,
great.
it was cool. It was cool, and she's not the main focus of this. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, I actually put this down. I put excellent dramatic monologue on the phone. There's a scene like on the last day
Yes,
when the
yes.
daughter, she's like, "Don't show your brother this," whatever,
Yes.
and she's talking.
Yes, yes, yes,
The
yes, yes.
monologue was excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
I'm glad you brought that up. Like, when she's crying, it's so affecting.
Yes,
And I'm sorry, I couldn't have done this in a hospital. But there are no more secure beds right now. My best chance is writing this out at home. With your help. And I know I can count on you to be brave. But if you're watching this right now, it's most likely because I've lost to this. And for that, I am incredibly sorry. I love you both. With all of my heart, you are my greatest loves. And my only hope for this is that you two continue to take care of each other until you are old and gray. And this thing is long behind you.
and what I can only imagine, like, I don't have children, but what I can only imagine is, she probably put that, she's talking to her actual children, right? Because that
Yeah.
whole time period, like, people were dying all over. Like, people were dying of this stuff.
So
And
messed
so,
up.
I don't want to, like, say, hey, this is how she did it, but I can imagine that performance was probably informed a lot about, like, seeing what if her own kids got COVID and passed
Yeah.
away or something of that nature, and it was
Yeah.
good. So much so that I think it's some of the best
I
acting
agree.
that we've seen her
I
do, and
agree.
it's just, it's like a minute and a half, just kind of like that monologue to the camera.
Yeah.
Great.
Totally agree. Totally
Super
agree.
good. Super good.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so that's day 14. Directed, and the direction by her husband, also great. There's dolly shots in this and stuff. It's not like they just put the camera down and was like record and threw something together. Like, time time and effort was put into this to make it really good. So yeah, thank you, Sean, for sending me day 14. It was awesome. Really liked it.
Yes.
All
Agreed.
right, and last but definitely not least, Halloween is canceled from 2020. All directed by Andrew Catch, and
Andrew Cash is back.
he did Thirsty, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Andrew Cash is back. We got this. So 3 minutes long. Now, I will preface this by stating my all-time favorite horror movie is John Carpenter's Halloween.
That's
It's
right.
the movie that when I was a kid, my mom showed it to me and it made me want to direct movies.
Yeah.
So when I started watching this, I was like automatically like, you've already got me.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what's good old Michael Myers up to
Right.
on COVID Halloween back in
Yes.
2020.
Yes. It helps, like, I don't know if you've looked at Andrew Cash's IMDb, but he did, like, a ton of, like, documentaries, from the sets of some of the sequels.
Oh, no, I have not looked
Yeah,
at his
he has, like,
filmography.
he has a Halloween pedigree,
Oh,
and
did
it
not know.
comes
Cool.
through in this, for
Oh,
sure.
100%. He shot
Oh.
this on location. He had to have.
Yeah, it's great. Okay,
Yeah.
so this opens with our boy Michael Myers, your boy Michael, and he's there. It's Halloween. It's his day to shine, and he's ready to kick off his annual spree of Halloween murdering. Right? Only to
Yes.
discover, much to his chagrin, that Halloween has been canceled due to COVID. So as the night
Fantastic
approaches,
premise.
it's
Fantastic
really
premise.
great. So he's kind of like, we see him, like a montage of him sort of showing up at locales and recreating scenes,
Yeah.
famous
Jumping
scenes
behind
from
the
film.
hedge and everything like that.
So great. So
Yeah.
great. Very funny. But he's just sort of forlorn, wandering the streets of Haddonfield, like dreaming of days when he used to be able to just, spree kill his way through town. When he is approached by a crazed woman played by Tiffany Shepis, shouting anti-masking propaganda, and he like listens for a minute and it gets crazier and crazier and
It's
crazier.
so great.
What do you think you're doing? A mask? Do you actually believe that by wearing that mask you're saving lives? Wake up! That mask is actually compromising your health. But you would know that if you were able to think for yourself. Do the research. It's all part of the partisan plan, the masters out there trying to keep us obedient. Do you know what happens when you breathe your own CO2? And what about poor people like me that can't even wear a mask because we have breathing problems? You don't believe me? I have a doctor's note. And you know what? It's actually illegal for you to ask me for it. And don't even get me started on a vaccine. Do you know how many billions of toxins there are in them? Have you ever Googled the autism rate? And they're gonna force us to take it? Oh my God. No, not me. Never, mister. Never. Because you know why? We have this thing. It is called an immune system. It is God's great, big, beautiful breathing system. Maybe you've heard of it. Or did you not believe in it because it's fake news, huh?
Before finally he snaps and kills her, and then we get like a little PSA at the end about like wearing a mask.
Everything's fake.
Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
It is so great. I mean, if I could say, like, if anything that we watched was just like in how it's created, just perfect in what it's trying to do.
Yes.
This is perfect in what it's
Perfect.
trying to do.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with this at all. And Tiffany is so amazing. I mean, it goes through like the bullet points of what all these people were claiming at that time. Just yelling it and basically getting in your face about it. And Michael Myers is like staring at her like he's complete. You see in his eyes, he's
Right.
complete like what? Just lets her go on and on and on and on, and then the knife just comes out, whack, 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 whack. It's so good. It's so good.
cathartic. It's funny. It's like it perfectly expressed the feelings we all had in that moment of like, just put on a mask. But it did it with humor and with horror. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't get any better than that. It was
Yeah.
so fun. I love this one, and I think obviously the punchline landed. It was great, but it was funny throughout. Like all of the little sight gags,
Yes.
all of the sort of the performance of the Michael Myers character, like his total like Charlie Brown like energy when he realizes he can't go on his killing spree. All of that just really worked, and it's just so much fun. And it's funny to see her in a character like this. Like I think this is where all of those sort of like she has like kind of a femme fatale thing, but she also is really good at sort of playing these sort of bitchy characters. And so it's fun to see her, not the femme fatale part, but take like all of that experience of being kind of like in your face bitchy character and channel it into this sort of Karen-like character. I think this is it takes it even further than it did in the Christmas one. So yeah, I
Yeah.
loved this one a lot.
Yeah, this was a fantastic little short. And again, I watched them all from oldest to most recent. So these were fun ones to end on. So that's it, folks. There's your gigantic episode of GOREFEST at Tiffany's, episode 9, a million short films, which turned into probably the longest. Well, no, the Rolf one was probably the longest.
They don't even know. They don't even know.
No one's going to defeat the length of the Rolf episode. So
he's the goat of Link. Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Goat of duration. Still not great. Still not great.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you know of another short film that she's been in that's maybe not on IMDb, please let us know at outpostunknown@gmail.com. We would love to watch it. Thank you to the filmmakers who are sending the stuff. Please, thank you to Sean for continuing to send a bunch of stuff, because we're like, basically I was sending him like, I don't know where to find this stuff. Like, we're trying, we can't. He's like, oh, I got this, and this. He's actually sent a few discs over. So super, super great. So we'll probably be back maybe October-ish with a new episode, maybe Halloween themed. And then I have an idea for a special Christmas drop of GOREFEST at Tiffany's, which I won't get into yet. But yeah, so hit that like and subscribe, ring that notification bell, stab it, pull the bell, whack somebody over the head with it, whatever you need to do to be notified of the next episode of GOREFEST at Tiffany's. Rachel, do you have any final thoughts before we jet?
No, just can't wait to come back and get into the next round of Tiffany Shepis as my fandom for her grows.
Yeah. We will be at the end of this the people who have seen the most amount of Tiffany Shepis content.
A Tiffany Shepis trivia game night hates to see us coming.
Interesting. Maybe we should do a Tiffany Shepis trivia thing on the channel.
If you're a super fan, drop that. Drop it in the comments.
And don't forget, if you want a copy of one of these comic books, leave a message which is your favorite Tiffany Shepis film, or something, and I'll pick something from somebody, a listener. Bye, everybody. That's it.
Bye, everybody.